Over the next 10 minutes, we're going to take a small journey through the history, the present, and the future of where we can go. So, we are going to try to instill the mantra of being fearless with food. So let's see if we can do that. So let's begin. In 1800s, we started with smoking, drying, and curing as the main forms of cooking. In 1864, Auguste Escoffier brought in modern French cooking techniques with Haute cuisine. Then we moved on to 1900, where technology advanced with chemical transportation and freezing. This allowed the processing of food for storage, flavours, and convenience ultimately, much to some people's demise nowadays. Then, 1940s, we moved to rationing and austerity. This allowed for inventiveness and creativity with dishes such as apple crumble replacing the humble apple pie. Then, 1960, we moved into the influx in immigration for French, Chinese, Korean, Italian, and many more different cuisines expanding into the UK. Then, the 1980s, much to the demise of some chefs. The rise of cookery shows and books led to a heralding of a new industry and area of expanse, with dishes such as the prawn cocktail. I didn't make these, by the way, just to be clear. And then, now, moving on more into the future of 2000s, Howard McGee, Heston Blumenthal, and El Bulli revolutionised the catering and hospitality industry with molecular gastronomy, bringing in a whole new idea and experience in food. Now, 2010s, we're going towards social media, being able to instantly access and share new ideas instantly at a touch of a button. This is allowing a growth that is unprecedented in today's society. But with all these leaps and bounds in industry, it makes me question where we are going next. I, for one, am very excited by this, because not only as a foodie, but also as a film geek, we look to the past to see where we can go. Things such as mobile communication devices seemed ridiculous in Star Trek in 1960, but we've made it so. So, let's look at some movies to see what can possibly bring. Lord of the Rings, lambus bread. One small bite, enough to sustain a grown man for hours. Merry and Pippin obviously ate 3 of them in the film. So. The Matrix, tasty wheat. A single-cell protein with amino acids for all the body needs. And then the Replicator in Star Trek, 3D printed food, a technology that is actually already being utilised in today's industry. And then finally, in 1930, the film Just Imagine brought the idea of pill-form food to the masses. Now, soylent powders and protein shakes are fast becoming that idea. With virtual reality adding to that idea that we can now immerse ourselves in a one-eyed view of how a chef, or how a mechanic can create and build and replace, it's opening even more doors and avenues where we can go. And again, with mobile phones, it allows us to get the access to high-quality food at the touch of a button and delivered to our door. But with all these leaps and bounds in technology and in food, it does make us question what is it doing to our economy and ecosystem. We have ravaged our ecosystem through overpopulation and the use of fossil fuels. Our meat industry produces 25% of the world's methane, and the meat and dairy industry alone uses 1/3 of our natural water source. For one animal, it takes the equivalent of 660 gallons of water, which is the same as showering for 2 months, constantly. This cost to the humans and to the planet is unsustainable, and we need to make a change now. Thankfully, people such as Elon Musk's brother, Kimball Musk, are busy in America working on the next stage for food production and growth. Utilising storage containers to grow vertical farms with hydroponics, he is able to create, using only the spectrum of light that is required, he is able to grow the equivalent of a 2-acre farm in a 320 square foot container. Lab-grown clean meats are going to tackle the methane and land problem. By taking only a few cells of an animal and mixing it with vegetable proteins, they are able to replicate this unlimitedly. This then allows the scientists to focus solely on the taste, texture, and development of the product. By 2021, self-replicating lab-grown meats are being planned for market release, with an estimated 70% of human population saying that they would be happy to eat such things. I myself am quite curious and I would like to try it. This is going to affect our diet and social response in a lot of ways. For example, in 2016, there was an estimated 500,000 vegans in the UK over the age of 15. In today's society, we're now looking at 1 in 4 between the ages of 18 and 24. This is bringing more meat and dairy alternatives into today's society, with items such as corn, tofu, soya, and coconut milk embracing into our diets. Even larger companies, such as McDonald's, are bringing in the McVegan burger. And then finally, this is a tongue twister, the leading vegan burger is making headlines with taste and texture of real meat, but utilising 74% less water, 87% fewer greenhouse gases, and 95% less land. This is only going to get better, and people are more socially conscious now. I believe that we are on the turning point for food in general, being able to mix diets and mix the idea that you can have everything, but have it better and have a nicer quality. With self-replicating meat, it makes it more affordable to every person. With people such as Kimball Musk growing urban gardens in and around cities, it makes seasonality less of an issue than it used to be in the days when I began in catering. This now allows asparagus to be grown year-round and every other such idea. I believe people will only benefit from this, and it will allow people to move back towards a more of a plant-based diet. Veganism can potentially evolve into 2 different classes, one focused on dietary and health benefits, and the other being a traditional, more hardline stance. I can only encourage you to be fearless with food, enjoy it, experience it, share it, and just grow with it. And embrace it. Thank you for your time.